Hey guys, Fran back with IGN's E3 live show, streaming at you, of course, on e3.ign.com. Right now, artsy developer That Game Company is going to show off their newest creation, Journey. These guys previously made Flower, so let's see what their new game is like.
Thanks, Fran. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Genova Chen, and we are here to see That Game Company's co-founder of That Game Company, and we're here to see That Game Company's new game, Journey. So here we are, wandering through the desert. Very beautiful. Tell us, what exactly is Journey about?
Journey is about you wake up in a desert and not really knowing who you are and where you're supposed to go. And then you see a mountain in the distance with light shining from the back. And you're supposed to check out what's on the mountain.
I mean, what is it in your design that kind of drives you to make these games that are so simple to understand? I mean, the premise of this, obviously, you're heading towards a mountain. That's it. And just like your last game, Flower, very simple. You know, you're just a flower petal flying around gathering more petals.
I think, while there are many people who have had, years of experience playing games, we still wanted to design games to be as intuitive as possible. It's like designed for human. Like, we wanted to make it, you can easily hand it to a kid and he can pick it up and play right away. You can also give it to someone who haven't played a lot of game and keep the game simple so that they can enjoy the experience.
So Flower made, pretty extensive use out of the 6-axis controls.
Right.
How do the 6-axis controls come into play in Journey?
Currently, we are looking into a very unique way to use the 6-axis control to control the camera. Because, in traditional first-person shooter game, you use the right stick to look up and down and left and right.
Right.
And I often hear complaints about they want to reverse the x-axis or they want to reverse the y-axis because different people have different preference.
Right.
But in Journey, we use the tilt. So if we want to look up, we just tilt up the controller. It seems like more intuitive to people who haven't played a lot of games. But for camera control particularly, we are still kind of in the middle of trying to figure out, because there are people who play our game who wanted to have traditional controls. So we are still kind of trying to refine it.
So where does the inspiration for the art style? It's very unique, obviously, but it's kind of, I'm wondering where you, kind of came to it from.
When we try to make a game, visual is very important. We wanted to use the visual to be evocative, to create a certain mood for the player. And for Journey, we wanted to have this very desolate, barren, kind of empty, large world, so that in contrast, the player will feel they are small. But it's also because Journey is an online game. We want to kind of emphasize the other player. So player is very bright red in the desert. If you see another player in the environment, it stands out drastically. But imagine if it's not a desert. Imagine if it's like a ruined urban junkyard. You can't identify the other player.
So how do your interactions with other players kind of work?
So as I mentioned earlier, we want to make the game very intuitive. One thing about online game today is that the online game requires some kind of lobby. You create a game and host it and invite your friends, and you have to check their PIN number and make sure everything works. Then you start the game, count down. Those things are not very intuitive. Imagine you give it a kid or someone who, like your mom. They wouldn't understand what the lobby means, what latency means. So we want to hide all of them. The idea for the multiplayer game here is that there are different players playing the game at the same time. They're all heading towards the mountain. And if they happen to be in the same place, they should be able to see each other. But also, we wanted to create this desolate world. We don't want to populate the world with hundreds of players at the same time. We actually limit it so that each time you only meet one player. And if you don't like each other, you don't have to be forced to stay together to solve a puzzle like a co-op game. This is not a co-op game. You can finish the game by yourself. So you can feel free to walk away from someone if you don't want to play with them.
Cool. So when can we finally get our hands on Journey?
Well, hopefully this year.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Genova. It was a pleasure. Stay tuned for Journey. Comes out later this year. It's going to be awesome. Back to you, Fran.
Thanks. I'm actually going to go off script for a brief second and say if you've not played Flower yet, make sure to check it out. It's really interesting. These guys are doing new stuff, and I think it's healthy for the industry, so please check it out. And in general, That Game Company is so cool, so thank you for joining us. And That Game Company is their real name. I did not forget who they are. So next up in our Sony Power Block, it continues with a look at the PlayStation Vita. It's Sony's successor to the PSP, so you know it's going to be sweet. Guys, let's check it out soon.